Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to shrink way, way down to explore the most amazing factory you could ever imagine, because it's operating inside you right this second. We're talking about going from a single, tiny blueprint to a complete living building. I mean, really, think about that for a second. How on earth does a single cell, a tiny speck you can't even see, contain all the instructions to build something as complex as a giant redwood tree, or, well, you? The secret isn't just a blueprint. It's an entire bustling microscopic city that exists inside every living thing. You know, every great city starts with just a single brick. And in the world of biology, that brick is the cell. And the idea here is actually pretty simple, but totally profound. Every living thing is made of cells, and new cells can only come from cells that already exist. It's the absolute foundation of life as we know it. But of course, not all cities are built the same, right? There are two main designs. You've got these simple, super efficient villages called prokaryotes, think bacteria, that get the job done without a big central office. And then you have the complex metropolises called eukaryotes. That's us, plants, animals, which have a main command center, the nucleus, and all sorts of specialized departments. And even within these big city cells, you see different architectural styles. Plant cells are kind of like fortresses. They have these rigid outer walls, and they're solar-powered. Animal cells, on the other hand, are much more flexible, built for movement, and they come with their own internal recycling centers to keep everything tidy. All right, let's head to the city's command center. Deep inside the nucleus of every one of those eukaryotic cells, we find it, the master blueprint. This is the ultimate instruction manual for absolutely everything the cell is, everything it does, and everything it will ever become. This is where the code of life is kept safe. And that blueprint is deoxyribonucleic acid, or as we all know it, DNA. It's this magnificent, twisting double helix that holds the genetic instructions for literally every single known living thing on this planet. It's the code that dictates how we grow, how we function, and how life itself keeps going. And the truly amazing thing is how its structure is just perfect for the job. You see, when Watson and Crick figured out this double helix shape back in 1953, it was this huge breakthrough because the structure itself instantly revealed how life's code could be both securely stored and precisely copied. So how is this incredible code actually written? Well, it's surprisingly simple. The rungs on that DNA ladder are made of just 4 chemical bases, a 4-letter alphabet, A, G, C, and T. These letters are attached to a super strong sugar phosphate backbone, which makes up the sides of that famous twisted ladder. And here is the elegant secret to the whole thing. The pairing is incredibly specific. A always hooks up with T, and C always hooks up with G. This simple, unbreakable rule is the entire foundation for how life can copy itself with near-perfect accuracy. It means if you have one side of the ladder, you automatically know exactly how to build the other. It's genius. So before a city can expand, it's gotta copy its blueprints. This process is called replication. First, an enzyme called helicase acts like a zipper, just unwinding the DNA. Then, the real star of the show, DNA polymerase, zooms along each strand, building a brand new matching half. And it does this at an incredible speed with mind-boggling accuracy. And just like that, you've got 2 identical DNA molecules from one original. Okay, so the cell has its master blueprint, and it's locked away super safe in the nucleus. But think about it. You wouldn't take the original, priceless architectural drawings to a construction site, would you? No way. You'd bring photocopies. And the cell does the exact same thing. It makes a temporary working copy for the job at hand. And this working copy is called ribonucleic acid, or RNA. You can think of it like a cheap, disposable photocopy of just one page from that giant blueprint book. It's chemically pretty similar to DNA, but it's only a single strand, and it swaps out one of the letters, using U instead of T. Now, the process of making this RNA copy is called transcription. A little molecular machine called RNA polymerase finds the exact right spot on the DNA, unwinds a small section, and then builds a matching strand of what we call messenger RNA, or mRNA. It is literally transcribing the master code from the permanent language of DNA into the portable, ready-to-use language of RNA. So, now that we have our working copy, that mRNA molecule leaves the safety of the nucleus and heads out into the main part of the cell, to the factory floor. This is where the assembly line is waiting, and it's where that code is finally going to be turned into a real functional product. The machinery on this factory floor is called a ribosome, and it doesn't read the mRNA one letter at a time. Instead, it reads it in three-letter words called codons. Each one of these codons, like AUG or GCA, is an instruction that calls for one specific amino acid, and amino acids are the basic building blocks of all proteins. And this brings us to the grand finale, translation. The ribosome clamps right onto the mRNA. Then, another kind of RNA, called transfer RNA, acts like a fleet of tiny delivery trucks, bringing in the exact amino acid that matches the codon. The ribosome links these amino acids together, one after another, building this long chain until it finally hits a stop signal. And just like that, a protein is born. So let's back up. We've gone from DNA to RNA to a protein chain. But what's the point? I mean, what do these finished products actually do? Why does any of this matter? The short answer? Pretty much everything. Proteins are the tireless workhorses of the cell. They are the enzymes that make chemical reactions happen, the steel beams that give cells their shape, the antibodies that protect you from getting sick, and the delivery trucks like hemoglobin that carry oxygen through your blood. They're the gears, the levers, the entire machinery of this incredible cellular city. And this is where it all just clicks into place. This is why different cells have different jobs. A muscle cell is absolutely packed with proteins that let it contract and create movement. A red blood cell is basically just a tiny bag of hemoglobin protein, perfectly designed to haul oxygen around. Each cell type just focuses on making the specific proteins it needs to do its unique job in the body. It's brilliant. So we've just walked through this incredibly precise, elegant process, from the master blueprints all the way to the finished product. It really does seem just about perfect. But that leaves us with one last critical question to think about. What happens when there's a typo in that master blueprint? What happens when just one single letter in that genetic code is wrong?